Fuck those Raider, okay? No lie. Look, it's his eye patch. Right there. I'm Raiders! Let's go! Asal Tante Oso, that bear you all know. Out of hibernation to entertain you guys. Raider Nation. What? No, I'm not repeating all that. Let's go! I just got done seeing a video of Ashton Ginty again, so I got all jacked all over again about having that young man as a Raider. It's just, oh, so nice. Woo! Often imitated, never duplicated, that fool with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair, the Raider Bear! Raiders! Oh, goodness. Thought I wasn't going to show it to you. I love it. I love it. I literally love it. I love it. No, don't do that to me. No. Don't do that to me. No, don't do that to me. There we go. There we go. Tradish! Raider Bear Live. First comment. Woo! MVP tonight goes to... I'm pretty sure who it is. I always want to double check. Wait a minute. Let me go all the way back up here. Got a lot of comments already. Thank you. Love you guys. Yep. Our two-time double champ. Mark Vargas. No need for everyone to bow. Everyone knows he's the champ. My emoji making son of a gun. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for a Raider Bear. Appreciate you. Fiddling with electronics real quick. Turning stuff on, turning stuff off. Okay, because we got so much to talk about. I'm going to answer your questions and everything else in just a moment. But first, silver medal. John the Leon, always dropping L's, but that's just because he's now legacy, but never taking losses. John the Leon, appreciate you, brother. Third place, bronze medal goes to Essay, woo! Big Dog! What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear. Honorable mention goes to my good friend Ramiro Cashflow Castro. And, of course, Mount Rushmore in the house, David Pelkliber. DPC. Hi, Bob. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. My good friend in the house. Facebook, where I started. Is anyone aware that I'm in my 10th year as a podcaster? Yeah, that's right. Gotta be pretty good the last 10 years, okay? No scandals, okay? Just good stuff. First place, my gold medal goes to numero uno, El Jefe. Carlos Boykins, back on top where he belongs. What's up, champ? Welcome to the show. You know, when you got a little lazy on me on the last few days, Lucky Pace was sitting in your chair. Oh, yeah, had his feet up and everything. Second place, my silver medal goes to, speak of the devil, but he's more like an angel, that silver-tongued, sultry son of a gun, LP, Lucky Pace! place. Met him in person. Nice guy. Third place, my bronze medal goes to my new and latest bodyguard, Big Joe Holman. Joe, what are you doing in here winning medals? It's going to look like I'm biased now that you're my bodyguard. You know what I mean? Right on your heels was Steven and Mrs. Shaw. Always there for a Raider Bear. And they remind me to remind all of you, if you would, consider a subscription to Raider Bear family page. It's just, nothing but a few bucks a month, and you can cancel at any time, and it helps me to help a lot of people all over the world. By the way, I should start mentioning my charities because people have been asking me why I don't do that anymore, but the only reason was because I don't try to beat you guys over the head with it. But Punks for Autism is one of the ones we work with. If you go to Punks for Autism, my actual brother started that site with a few other guys. It actually has art and shirts that were designed by artists from all over the world, and they gave their time for free to benefit autism research. And more importantly, the art on the t-shirts that you buy is unique and one of a kind to those artists. You can't just go somewhere and buy it. So when you find a cool design, it's yours. And the likelihood of you ever run into anyone wearing that shirt is almost zero because they'd have to go to the exact same site. And more importantly, it's reasonably priced, right around $25, and a lot of your proceeds go directly to autism research. I think, in fact, it's like 80%, something like that, 90%. It's my brother. I'd have to ask him, but I know it was really high because I thought he was crazy at first. I'm like, dude, you're not going to make any money on this. He's like, we don't want to. We're going to do this for autism. Right on. My daughter is an autism warrior, and he has a son and a daughter who are also battling that. So we have that up close and personal in our life. Tony Carpenter Evans, what's up, girl? Welcome to the show. Officer on deck. Miguel Garcia, 559, Fresno in the house, one of my most loyal viewers. Tony Make It Dip, that's another one. Welcome to the show, brother. Darren Patterson, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Ermin Ray Gonzalez, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Bennett, ouch. Chris, this is a product of a new regime. Pete Carroll and SpyTech are going to come in, and they're going to review guys who are picks from the previous regime. And if they're not really cracking, they're out, especially when you consider he was up against Darian Porter, who is obviously a SpyTech and Carroll pick. They want to get him out on the field right away because Pete Carroll is the kind of guy. He is a conveyor belt of defensive backs and safeties. He's one of the best coaches ever in NFL history at working with safeties and corners and getting them on the same page really fast. And he's going to do that for us. There's no reason to say he wouldn't. The only problem the Raiders have, okay, we can sit here and we can talk about the wide receivers, and we will. We can talk about Ashton Jeanty. He's amazing. One of his last seasons, he ran for 2,600 plus yards. I mean, that's insane, guys. It's just so good. And he was running guys over. And I mean, I'd seen it, but I had to see it again. You know what I mean? He's like little Bo Jackson, and Marshawn Lynch had a baby. And, I love that kid. Ramiro Castro. Appreciate the love and the stars. And for those of you on YouTube, please, if you would, hit like and get subscribing so I can get in that algorithm. I'd really appreciate it because there's just far too many other Raider voices that are doing what I do now that are, like, really boring. And they're all starting to shout now, and they're all starting to sound like me. And just stop. I'm going to stop. That's right. I think they're all biting. Jeremy McCary, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Now, there's a big, spooky story going around about our offensive line and what's going on with JDJ. Guys, you got to let that go. First and foremost, the kid can really play, okay? The kid can really play. He's an incredible offensive lineman. Problem. In college, once in a while, a kid is so good right when he gets to the college that the coach doesn't teach him. Now, as a rule, I've noticed most college coaches don't really prepare their players for the NFL. They just don't. You know what I mean? If you go back and you look throughout history, Robert Griffin III, Tim Tebow, and that's just a handful. That guy Young from Texas. They never really had a chance because they weren't really taught how to read defenses and call out protections and that's the problem we have with JDJ right now. He's not used to having this intricate system where he has to know all the plays, he has to be able to see all the protections, he has to be able to call all that out. He has to do it inside of 20 seconds. You see what I mean? All of that is really hard when you don't really have experience with it. So what you've been hearing reports about with the Raiders is that not only is Jordan Meredith outplaying him right now, but Alex Kappa, when he's been in the lineup with JDJ, was actually calling out the protections, trying to help JDJ to understand what play we were in and what we would be switching to in that circumstances if we see the linebackers line up on one side or the other, and which play should we switch to? You got to do it quickly, blah, blah, blah. So Alex Kappa is the offensive lineman veteran stud that we brought in from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when Spytech came over. That's one of his guys, so he brought him with him. Tom Brady swears by him too. He was on the line when Tom won his Super Bowl there. So he brings a lot of depth and a lot of knowledge, and so I think he's going to be able to help JDJ. But it's just going to take time. It's just going to take time. We have to be patient because with a guy like Tyree Wilson, I'm not patient with Tyree Wilson, even though he's still young, because to me, it's a foot issue. Okay, I get it. But once his foot's healthy, it ain't going to change anything. It's just not. He's not a prototype defensive lineman by any sense. He can play defensive tackle, and that's what we're going to try to do, is give him minutes at defensive tackle since we had to get rid of Twiddle Fingers Christian Wilkins. Flippin' idiot. I don't even want to talk about that guy. He's an idiot. What's up, Raider brother? How was your blessed Monday? Ellis Irving, it was incredible, but God bless you right back. I appreciate you. I don't really get the Bennett trade. I was starting to really like him after last season and had high hopes for this season. We have been looking for great cornerbacks for years now. Yeah, we may have been looking for great cornerbacks, but Jacorian Bennett just wasn't going to be one of them. He was just getting outplayed in camp. That's all I can tell you, is he was getting thoroughly outplayed in camp. Hold on, I had an article up that just had some news and notes on it that I was borrowing information from. In case anyone asked, I could kind of gleam off of what's been going on. Because, like, for example, Geno Smith has been throwing fireballs all over camp. The simulated game, he was incredible. He threw 6 for 8, 2 touchdowns, 1 to Brock Bowers, 1 to Dante Thornton. Looked incredible. It's going to be amazing. And Dante Thornton has solidified himself at the 2, passing Jack Besh without question. You know what I mean? Now, Jacoby Meyer is going to be in the slot, but the battle for 1 or who's going to be 2 is going to be, and 3 is going to be really interesting. And by the way, if you've heard about Tommy Mellett, the / quarterback / wide receiver that we've already said out loud, he's not a quarterback in the NFL. He's just too small. So what we're doing is we're going with all these jitter quick moves and speed he has. He has a decent 40 time from what I hear. He runs like a 4.3, 4.4. And that's fast. And so you put him at the slot receiver. If he's got decent hands and he can make plays, he's your Hunter Renfrow all over again. The funny thing is, Hunter Renfrow was incredibly reliable for us. He made amazing plays on special teams, one I'll never forget. And he piled up catches. Yet he's told he had a dad body, and we don't need you. So they let him go, and then now, he did quit at first. He retired, but he came back, and he wanted to do a run again, and I don't think we're going to do a run with him. They might, because we're so bare at wide receiver, they might do a run with him just because of that, but I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does, it'll only be because the cupboard is bare. Hi, Vicky Ginn. Bear! Mark Vargas says, what do I think about today's trade? I think Jacorian Bennett was running with the 3s and 4s. He was running in the 2nd and 3rd team in practice. Darian Porter, DeCamarion Richardson, and Eric Stokes were already badly outplaying him by a lot. And so they're just looking to see which one of that trio is going to become the 1 and the 2. And then they'll have a solid person to fill in the nickel spot. And so it doesn't look as bleak as people might tell you on defense for us as far as how good we're going to be really good. The only issue is depth. Every time someone gets injured at any position, we may have some problems. Because if you look at defensive back, we're light there. If you look at safety, we lost Lonnie Johnson. He's gone for the year, by the way, for if you guys hadn't heard. A lot of websites aren't announcing it. They're just saying he was out, but he's out for the season. There is no doubt about it. So there you're down at corner. You're down with Lonnie Johnson at safety. And then Jamal Adams, we brought in Jamal Adams. Okay, I like Jamal Adams at safety, but the problem is he's an older guy, and he's a thumper. And he's always been a thumper. So, is he going to be able to stay healthy? Now, we've moved him primarily to linebacker. There's going to be times where he drops back into coverage, and he's going to be more effective than your standard linebacker because he has defensive back history. But we're primarily going to be running him at that third or fourth linebacker position, weak side probably, and just hope that, offensive linemen and tight ends don't run through him, you know what I mean? Because he's got enough size, he can play. He'll be able to play there, but we got to see if he's going to be able to do it. Steven Shaw! Appreciate the love on the stars, brother. Remember, stars contributed to the show. Help us make it look pretty like it looks now. Bobby Ware, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for a Raider Bear. Bear. I already gave a bear for Vicky again. I can't keep doing that. Sean Scott, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. What's up from Lamoon? What's up from Lamoon? What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. There's my guy, Jesse Parker, my fashion designer. Peggy here. My husband is getting cleaned up. I was distracted with William and Catherine rolled off the bed, and my heroic hubby made a diving catch but bloodied his nose. Oh, no. Okay, first, father points to an awesome dad. Way to go, Tim Newport. I actually had one of those happen to me. I'm a father of 4, 3 boys and a girl. And my girl was doing one of those roll off the couches head first, and I dove, and I caught her head in my hand, and I kind of lifted. And so when she landed, it was all pamper, So Dad saved the day. But let's not try to get off the point, Peggy. Your offense sucks. Don't think I haven't heard the news about you Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? DK Metcalf can't make a catch in practice because the defense is so hard. The Steelers are in so much trouble. Their offense is going to suck eggs. Okay, your defense is going to be good, but it's going to get tired out. They're going to lose a bunch of games late in the game. Heartbreakers. Because your defense is going to get tired and they're going to end up losing. Do I sound like a bitter winner? I am, honestly. I've done it for so many years as a Raider fan. I'm not used to being excited about a team that's clearly going to win a lot of games this year. Tanamoku, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate your energy, Peggy. Much love. I hope your husband's nose is better. Vicky, get in! Appreciate the love on the stars. Kevin Kahuhano. Everyone wishing Kevin Kahuhano. It's not like I don't say your last name bad enough already. God bless you, brother. He recently was in the hospital. He was having to have some work done, and that sucks, you know what I mean? I would honestly say the mental stuff bothered him more than the actual, the short beds that suck and all the noise and the constant beeping and just, I hate hospitals. Hate them. So I feel bad for you, brother. Sean Scott said, nah, brother, ain't no one doing what you doing. That deserves one right there. Raiders! Much love to you, brother. Troy Gill, what's up, to brother? What's up? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear. Troy Gill always wants to ask me what's up. He's like, what's the latest? Well, the latest I'm going to give you, Troy, is I think that Ashton Jeanty is going to win Rookie of the Year. I really do. I think that I don't want to say anything about Josh Jacobs. I don't want to say anything about Josh Jacobs. I'm just going to say the start that Ashton Jeanty will be one of the better ones we've ever seen. And it has nothing to do with Josh Jacobs or his ability or anything like that. It just has to do with, I think that Ashton Jeanty is falling into a better situation than Josh did. Better coaching, a better offensive focus. We already know what the plan is. He's been saying it over and over again. I'm going to put a defense out there that punches you in the mouth, Not every quarter, every play. Okay? And I'm going to put an offense out there that punches you in the mouth with a running game and an offensive line that's coming at you play after play. And then just when you think it's going to stop, we're going to snap back and Geno Smith's going to light you up with a fireball that we're just going to call a football for now, but it's going to be a fireball. And guys, I'm telling you, Geno Smith is already showing that he has Chip Kelly's offense down. All of you, every single one of you. Now, some of you aren't yet, excited. Some of you are old school like me, where you want to hold off and wait and see what you have. Others of you are like me right now, where you're saying, hey, look, no, I'm willing to go all in on this squad. The way it's built right now, it may not be the first year, but Besh and Dante and Ashton and all these guys, Gino and Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer, listen to the depth we have to attack with. The weapons we have to attack with. I think this might be the deepest we've been weapons-wise since, way back. I'm talking 2000, 2001 when we had Jerry Rice and Tim Brown and, the running game. And this is as good as we've looked on paper in a long time. Now you add Pete Carroll, an old school coach. We don't have to wonder if he's going to show up and do the job. He's going to show up and do the job. Now, this kid, the defensive tackle that we brought in from the Eagles in the trade for Jacorian Bennett, I don't have anything exciting to tell you about that. Now, when I say that, what I mean is the defensive tackle we brought in, Thomas Booker, he's nice. He's very solid, but he hasn't been brought in to be a starter. So don't get it twisted. This isn't a big move that we made and brought in a brawler. He's a guy. Now, he was on the Philadelphia Eagles, though. There's a real winning culture there right now, and he happened to be in the middle of that. So he's going to come in with a kind of energy, you know what I'm saying? Winners do that. You know what I mean? You come off of winning, you go into a new job, you carry that, chin up, excitement. Hey, I'm the man. Look at this ring. And so he's going to walk right into our room with that, mentality on his hand. I'm not too worried about it, though. I don't know if Aki Tossi and some of these other guys are really going to step up. But I really like Tonka Hemingway. I really like J.J. Pegas. They're going to be heard from. So now, if you add the other additions we've made at defensive tackle, including Mr. Booker right now, I like what we're doing on defense. I think we're absolutely 100 there. I think on offense, we look even more solid. I think the only thing that can bring us down, problem with that is, it's the most important thing, is the offensive line. Because remember, we have some nice tools. We have some nice pieces right now on this line, and we have competition. And remember, when we're losing Jacorian Bennett and guys like that, remember, I know that hurt to some people. But you have to remember, this is good, guys. It's good. You have to remember, when you have talented guys, look at Raheem Mostert. Look at Zamir White. They're fighting for reps right now. They're killing themselves in this pregame, just did scrimmage game on Saturday, trying to get those reps, and make them count, because they know this is Ashton Genty's team now. That is not in question. So they are just basically a supporting cast. They're the body double. They're the stunt guy for the star. Which one of them that will be? But you see, you have two really good backs in Mostert and White. No telling which one we get rid of, but it's going to hurt. We're going to see him go and go, no, but we're better than that now. We're a better squad than he is, than what we would need him to still be on the team. And I love that we saw Dylan Laube getting snaps. Dylan Laube getting snaps. By the way, I just want to whisper this real quick because I know people are going to remember this. You guys remember me saying to you over and over again during this draft. It was the draft before last when I picked AOC and the Raiders picked him, and I was right. And I still think I'm right about AOC. I do. I don't care what happens with him with the Raiders. If he ends up somewhere else, he's going to be a guy. If he stays with us, he's going to be a guy. I'm telling you. But anyway, my other guy, the pick I made this year was Quinn Ewers. I made it clear if I could pick right now, I would be one of those crazy Raider general managers who says, you know what, there's other quarterbacks on the board that statistically everyone's telling me are better. I want Quinn Ewers. That guy's a winner. Quinn Ewers has a chip on his shoulder. He's one of those guys that if he can't do something, he gets pissed that he can't do it, and then he works his off, donkey, to get better at it. And he did it in college. I witnessed it. He had a season where he threw 14 interceptions, guys. I'm not sure if it was the exact number. It might have actually been higher than that. But it was some crazy number. And then his coach looked at him and said, look, man, the NFL's not going to be interested. No matter how good you are, no matter how much you win for us, if you're throwing 14 interceptions in a season, if you have 35 touchdowns, they don't care. Half of those are neutralized by 15 interceptions. You can't have it. You know what I mean? And at the NFL, they make you pay for all of them. All of them. So you could come in and cost the team games that you should have won with your talent. You know what I mean? Well, Quinn Ewers is with the Dolphins. And already you're starting to hear the whispers. Oh, maybe the Tagliavoa, maybe he needs to get protection, and put him in the CTE protocols. I mean, concussion protocols, and, protect the brother. You watch. It's going to start coming up. I said this 3 years ago. When he was still in college, I was saying it after he had that hip accident. That guy's going to be out of the league in no time. You can't have an injury that happens usually to 60-year-olds in car accidents, and just get up and be like, now I'm going to go to the NFL. No, you're not. I can't stand Tua Tagovailoa. I don't care what he's done yet. You watch. That's a ticking time bomb at his waistline. And I don't mean that in a good way, ladies. I mean like broken down and gone. Wasn't that a great joke? Just slip that in there. What's with the Parsons thing? The Dallas Cowboys are getting their arm twisted by Micah Parsons because Micah believes he deserves an upgrade. TJ Watt with Pittsburgh got his money. Max Crosby got his money. He feels like he's in that, not only in that group, but if anything, he may lead it. I mean, this is a guy who, we all love Max Crosby, but this is a guy who's every season of his career he's gone to the Pro Bowl. Every season. And if I'm not mistaken, and I apologize, I'm going by memory here, but I think he's had 10 sacks like every season. I mean, he's just, he's been pretty good. Now, don't get me wrong, Micah Parsons does come with some baggage. He does a podcast way too much. He does it sometimes until the late hours, so I know he's one of those guys that's not getting proper rest, and that because he's still young. And then more importantly, he brings politics as far as debate and things, stress, distractions, because he does the online stuff. And then last but not least, there are times when he gets embarrassed when teams are playing the run, because he's a nice player. That's undeniable. But I feel like sometimes like he's like Russell Westbrook and he's tricking us. And he's putting up all these stats, but do they lead to wins? I mean, look at what's been happening with Dallas. The whole time he's there, they've sucked. You know what I mean? They put up stats, and they look brilliant here and there, and then they get trounced, and then they don't make the playoffs, and we all just dust that over and say, oh, but Micah can really play. Look at his stats. I've seen him get blasted on run plays. I've seen him get blocked on pass plays, single coverage, line on offensive lineman, one-on-one, snuff him out and give up touchdowns. Now, granted, he does still win his position often, but I just want him because with us, he would be a better fit. Some of the things with us would be a better fit that we can hide his run deficiency. We would have behind him. We could support him. We could see that now because we've seen his career in Dallas, and we know that that's really his only flaw. He's light in the butt. You know what I mean? He's on the lighter side for a defensive end linebacker that's expected to rush the quarterback over and over again. I just don't want him to get hurt. I see lower back injuries in his future. I've been to 2 practices and haven't seen much from Mellett. Tana, I got to be honest with you, no one has, because from whatever reason, he's not catching on. And I'm trying to find out, but you know how it is. Nobody wants to say anything negative about anybody unless they have to. But Tommy Mellett is not jumping off the field yet. There is no one there's no reporter seeing him and saying, oh, he had a good day. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. Maybe he's fallen in the doghouse. Maybe he doesn't have the right personality. I don't know. But something's going on with Tommy Mellett that doesn't make sense. Because he has the hands. We know he's got the speed. And I don't know if you've seen the guy's body, but he looks like a little bodybuilder. I mean, he's chiseled. So I don't understand what the problem is. And we've seen physically he's gifted. He can run with the rock. He's got vision. I'm surprised. I would say this. I think the only thing he's got a chance for now is special teams. If he messes that up, he's probably going to be off the team. John Leon, I believe he did sign with Panthers. I simply bring him up. I was saying he had no chance, and I was just basically saying because in comparison, he had no chance. They said he had a dead body, and they let him go. And yes, he went to the Ravens. I didn't mean to sound like I was saying he's still with us. Richardson is looking good. Devin White is his cousin and has been pushing him. I like that. Nice. Yeah, and Tana saying looking good is an understatement. DeCamarion Richardson has looked great. He's made 2 interceptions just in 2 separate practices, and he would have had 3, but one hit his hands and he dropped it. He just dropped the ball, or would have had 3. So he's having a hell of a camp. So regardless of what happens, he's going to get minutes. Johnson broke his femur from Max landing on him. Yeah. Let's see. Canyon Stone, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Love that profile pic. Let's talk about how good Colton, Jackson, Dylan, Jordan, Alex, DJ, and Thayer are. Show some love to the big fellas on the O-line. Canyon Stone, welcome to the show, brother. Well said, and I would agree with you 100% because that, to me, is where our only real weakness is now. I like what's happening in the defensive backfield, and even though we're shorthanded, the presence of Pete Carroll is going to stand out. I'm telling you, it's why we're seeing Darren Porter catching up so fast. It's why we're seeing DeCamarion Richardson pick up so fast. Yes, of course, his cousin, pushing him probably had a lot to do with it too, but I just feel like it's strange to me how we've been hearing so much about the secondary playing well. And then you add to that, we've got Jeremy Chin, and just I'm excited about this lineup. And then with the running game, we're going to be able to hide some of those deficiencies on defense because they're not going to be on the play field for very long. Ashton Jeanty, Dante Thornton, our double attack at tight end with Mayer and Bowers, we're going to move the chain. We're going to eat clock. There's going to be games where we're going to grind teams up. And our defense is going to be able to sit there. Now you add to that the addition at linebacker of Devin White, who's sticking guys. And Devin White himself made a point of saying, I need to prove I've still got it. He said that to a reporter and made it clear, I'm in practice to show everyone I'm loving the fact I'm a Raider. I love this logo. I love these colors, and I want to knock people down. I was like, ooh, goosebumps. Do you think there's any reality to the Micah Parsons talk? And if so, what's it going to cost us? It would cost a first-round pick at the very minimum, but I would say this to you. And Canyon Stone, last thing as far as praising the line, I love DJ Glaze. So even if he doesn't win the right tackle spot, I love the fact that he could be a starter. So whoever we put at starter, whoever beats him out, we're not just good there. We're getting great at right tackle. Because if Thornton or one of the other guys beats him, I would be impressed. He's playing great. Peggy here again. You can't goad me about my Steelers. Are defensively good, but an old airhead at quarterback and zero improvement on the offensive line. Won't make it past week 6. You think he'll make it to 6? I'm just having fun with you. DP, what's up, Darren? What can we expect out of this kid from Tennessee at wide receiver? I don't know what you're talking about. The kid, Kawan Baker. Again, depth. He's a depth guy. He's gonna be good. He's got hands, but I don't know what his 40 time was. I remember not being impressed by it, so I think that's why I don't remember what it was. But he'll be depth at wide receiver. We need bodies at wide receiver. That's one of the places where I have the least confidence. Offensive line, defensive back, linebacker, running back, quarterback, tight end. I feel good. You know what I mean? And I think there's depth questions, but I still feel good. You know what I mean? And there's things we can do throughout the season if we have to bring in more depth. I got you, Cannon. Oh, it's my guy again. Steven Sharp! Appreciate the love on the stars, brother. No. Bobby Ware, honestly, because of a medical situation that I'm in, both for myself and for family, I'm struggling with when I'm going to be able to go to a game again. It's just hard for me. Plus, my dogs can't travel, and it's tough. I ran into a lot of headaches getting my daughter to work. I don't like leaving her here alone. She doesn't want to go to football games, and so. Have a great night, Vicky. Appreciate you. I want to see Genty stiff arm a linebacker on Thursday. I don't think there's any doubt you'll see that. That guy runs hard, man. Great vision. And then as I was watching video of him again just before showtime, seeing his hands out of the backfield, very impressive. Very impressive. Let's talk about how those mighty Oak last Raiders are going to beat the Chiefs out of their teepees. Marvin Suarez, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Well, the way they're going to beat the Chiefs, in my opinion, is they know they have to keep Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes, in the pocket. If they keep him in the pocket, he usually gets punished by Max, because if we keep him in the pocket, he tends to bring the ball down. He doesn't look out into the play and look for his receivers as much. He tends to pull the ball down and start to try to sidestep through guys. And then if he gets through, he'll start running, he'll bring his eyes up, and he'll find, Travis Kelce usually, because they know, they've been trained that if he gets into trouble and they don't see the ball within 3 seconds, it means he's in trouble. So you come back to the receiver and show him your chest, and he'll find you, because he's experienced enough to do it, and he's got an offensive minded coach that's one of the best ever in Andy Reid. So we're gonna beat him, but it's gonna be tough like always. But I feel like right now we finally really have a better roster than them, because we've had more talent different years, but we didn't have a quarterback. Canyon Stone, we agree. You can keep saying it, but we agree, brother. It's all about the O-line and the defensive line. For me, it's O-line first, then defensive line. I feel like it's easier to find big guys that you can put on your D-line that can bring something to the game, as opposed to finding great offensive linemen. To me, that's harder. It's not a lot harder, but it's harder. What do you think about Thomas Booker, 6'3", 305? I think he's nice depth, Mark Vargas. I think he's going to give guys breathers. I think he's going to run on special teams. He's going to be an all-around defensive tackle that we're going to use everywhere, primarily to help us with our young guys, because they're going to – Tanamoku and J.J. Pegas are going to see snaps. So if one of them gets hurt, you have depth in Thomas Baker. But I don't see – he's not going to be a starter. Do you think our offensive line will actually be at least top 15? It all starts there. Tim Newport, welcome to the show. There's been people that have been saying out loud they think top 10. We just have to get the right combination. That's the only thing you're still hearing coming out of camp, and Pete Carroll and everyone else on the Raiders squad that's talking about the offensive line. They're not telling you that we don't like what we see. They're not saying that we don't have talent and we're not going to be a good offensive line. What they're saying is we're trying to find the right combinations. Now, what they did mostly in camp at first was they started JDJ at center. Then the next practice, they would start Jordan Meredith. JDJ, Jordan Meredith, JDJ, Jordan Meredith. Then suddenly it became Jordan. And JDJ mostly with the second team. And then while he was with the second team, Alex Kappa was with him on the second team, calling out protections. Again, an education classroom right on the field for JDJ, for him to catch up. Now, see, for me personally, I've coached, and I've coached at different levels and in different sports. And I can tell you honestly, there is truth to the idea that not every great player just starts that way. You know what I mean? A guy like LeBron James was an anomaly. You brought him in as a kid, and he immediately started putting up 20 a night. That's rare. You know what I mean? You almost never see that. You do see rookies come in and have great seasons, and they're astounding, and they amaze you with their flying through the air and their dunks, or their hard power, on the baseball field, hitting the ball and getting doubles and triples because of their speed. But oftentimes, those guys take 2 to 4 years to really season, to get their body to catch up with their mind and their mind to catch up with their body. And once they do those things and you have that kismet, that's when it all comes together. See, to me, that's the quintessential difference between Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers. And to me, it's fascinating to watch. Brock Bowers is day one. You know what I mean? He's like one of those toy pills you would get as a kid. You drop it in water, and it's a sponge inside, and it immediately pops when it feels the water and turns into a dinosaur that's shaped like a sponge that's shaped like a dinosaur. That's how Brock Bauer is. He's just immediate. He's right now. The moment he got the ball, right now. Going to dominate. Michael Mayer, I need some time. Got to grow a little bit. Dealing with some personal stuff. Getting my body right. Understanding, getting open. And I'll be honest with you, that's the number one thing. If any of you ever wondered what the number one thing was with Michael Mayer, I can tell you it's kind of come out now. He has poor recognition of what defenses are trying to do to him. So if a defensive linebacker gets outside of him and takes away the sideline, and let's say the play is supposed to go to the sideline, he has to read that immediately and turn it into an inside route and give Geno a new path to throw the ball to. Well, sometimes that's a trap. Sometimes they're meant to funnel him inside, and now you got all the other linebackers sitting there underneath waiting for the ball to be thrown to either knock it down or intercept it. It's Michael Mayer's job to say, oh, okay, I watched film study. I saw them doing that. I know what I have to do is give him a little shake and then run a deep route. That's what they won't expect. That's what they can't cover. I can go with the other wide receiver and force the linebacker on the sideline to run with me. See, there's ways around any defensive trap with your offense if the offense is on the same page. That's the problem. And Michael Mayer wasn't on the same page. He wasn't seeing that. And so there were times where he would think, oh, I'm open, and he wasn't. There were times where he would think, oh, I should run this route differently on this play, and he would be wrong, and he would actually be running into the teeth of the defense. He's starting to learn that. It takes time. I think he's one of those guys. I think he's going to grow. I don't think it's going to all be this year, but I think we're going to see improvement. He's going to get better. We're going to throw the ball to him. They want to get him on point, get his confidence up, because he's important. That line, though, I'm ready. I want to see it. I've been to practices, and Geno has looked good both times. Good chemistry with Bowers and Mayer and Tucker. Ginty looks good coming out of the backfield catching passes. Yeah, he has soft hands. I was really impressed that he's a banger back with soft hands. That's a rare combination. Normally guys that are roughhousers, they have a hard time then calming down and catching an egg without it cracking in their hands. You know what I mean? He has those soft hands. He's going to make plays. It's going to be very impressive. Vince Picks, what's up? Welcome to the show. Looking forward to the game Thursday, even if it's preseason. Raider football is back. Let's go. Vince, you don't have to explain that. Thursday, preseason, I don't care, even if it's preseason. I love seeing that. I tell my viewers all the time, if you hear people say the preseason means nothing, they don't know football. Now, the reason I say that is because the preseason does mean something. It shows the chemistry between the coach and the players. When he whistles and says, hey, I want this guy, or give me this guy on this play, are they hearing that, paying attention, and getting their helmet and being right on the field? Or are there delays? Are there times where we have too many men on the field because there's miscommunications, and the coaching staff that Pete Carroll brought in with him isn't verbal enough or isn't getting into the players, and really making sure they have that knowledge so they don't make those mistakes even in preseason? See, we're going to see that. And if we see those things, that's kind of a warning sign of, hey, you know what? We might have a problem here. We may not be quite as good as we think. We may struggle this year because look what's happening getting our guys in and on and off the field. Darren Patterson, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Beautiful family, brother. You should be very proud. Thornton, he is, I think, one of 3 players to run a 4.3 at 6'5". Yeah, it's astounding that he can run that kind of speed. But what I liked about his speed, Darren, is it's legitimate. He can run that in pads. In other words, there's a lot of guys, they come out of the pads and they go to a track instructor and they teach them perfect form, and suddenly they're 40 times go up go down, and they show genuine improvement in speed. And that's fine, but can you do that when you translate to the helmet and the pads and the tape, and they tape your ankles and so on? Can you do it then? You know what I mean? And it's hard to know that until the season starts. You know what I mean? One of the guys I see that way, not just Dante Thornton, but Jack Besh. Jack Besh is he's physical, man. He's physical. I can't wait to see him play. I can't wait to see him play. Canyon Stone is an O-line guy. I love that. Speak your piece, brother. I appreciate that. And welcome to the show. I know you're a first-time viewer, right? Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope to see you again. Whoa. Or hope you're enjoying the show. Hope to see you again. Whoa. That there. Put that here. Go like that. All right, guys. That is my time tonight. I appreciate you all tuning in. Whoa. Oh, sorry. There we go. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, National Guard, Space Force, for all you do. The energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. Active and veteran, much love. Appreciate you all, and I will see you again tomorrow night. R8RBEAR family page. Peace.